Okay, imagine this for a second. You're looking into solar, trying to choose the right panels,
Yeah.
and there's this one brand kind of quietly becoming the top choice in the U.S. for, well, hitting that sweet spot between performance and cost. What if we could figure out exactly why?
Yeah, that's definitely something people need. It's a huge decision, right? Lots of information out there.
Absolutely. So welcome, everyone. We're doing a deep dive today using the source material we have, focusing specifically on Q-Cell's solar panels, looking towards 2025. And, our sources, like some analysis from IntegrateSun, they really get into how Q-Cells got here.
And if you're the one considering solar right now, we get it. It feels like a maze. You're hit with all these terms, efficiency, warranties, what even is a temperature coefficient. And it's a big investment, something on your roof for, 25, maybe 30 years.
Totally. And that underlying worry, right? Did I pick the wrong ones? Will this system actually, deliver the savings I'm expecting? That's a very real concern. You want something reliable, performs well, maybe even looks good, and just lasts.
Right. So our mission today, just using the sources provided, is to try and cut through some of that noise. We want to help you understand what really stands out about Q-Cells, especially for 2025, according to this material.
Okay, let's jump in then. The sources point out Q-Cells isn't some small outfit. They're part of Hanwha Solutions, a big global player. Why is that important? That financial stability, the Tier 1 status the sources mention? Why does that matter for a homeowner?
Well, it's really about long-term confidence, peace of mind, basically. If you've got a warranty covering 25, maybe even 30 years, you need some assurance the company will actually be around to, honor it decades down the line. Tier 1 status, as the sources explain it, is a key indicator of that kind of stability.
And what about where they're actually made? The sources mention a significant manufacturing footprint, including right here in the U.S.
Yeah, that's highlighted as a pretty key advantage. U.S. manufacturing could mean faster delivery, maybe simpler logistics, potentially easier customer service, too, compared to dealing entirely overseas. Plus, it contributes to them being, one of the most installed brands in American homes. Builds familiarity, builds trust.
Okay. Let's talk tech for 2025. The sources bring up things like Q.ANTUM NEO and zero-gap technology. How do the sources explain what those buzzwords, I guess, actually mean for the power generated on your roof?
So the sources frame Q.ANTUM NEO as their advanced N-type cell technology. Think of it like the next step up in how solar cells capture light. N-type cells are generally seen as more efficient, and the sources specifically note they perform better in, say, low light or when it gets really hot compared to older tech.
Okay. And zero gap, what's that about?
That's more about the physical layout inside the panel. They minimize or even eliminate the tiny spaces between the individual solar cells. So by doing that, more of the panel surface is actually working, capturing sunlight. More active area means potentially more energy from the same size panel.
Got it. So, better cell tech, plus squeezing more active area onto the panel. How do the sources translate this into tangible benefits for you, the homeowner, thinking about 2025? What are the big takeaways?
The sources seem to really hammer on real-world performance. First up is heat performance. That's a big one. Q-Cells panels, according to the info, have really good temperature coefficients. Figures like minus 0.29% to minus 0.34% per degree Celsius rise above a certain baseline.
Okay, let's unpack that number, minus 0.29%, minus 0.34. What does a lower number there actually mean practically when those panels are baking on my roof in July?
It means they lose less power output compared to panels with higher coefficients when things heat up. So if you're in a hot climate or even just during summer heat waves anywhere, this means more consistent energy generation throughout the day. That translates directly to better savings over the year compared to panels that might really struggle and lose efficiency in the heat.
Right, that could make a noticeable difference over a whole year, let alone 25 or 30 years.
Oh,
Okay, what's the next big plus the sources highlight?
Warranties. Definitely warranties. The sources talk about a standard 25-year product and performance warranty, which is, pretty solid already. But then for their premium lines, the Q-Telon models, they're pushing that up to 30 years.
30 years? Wow. Okay. And what about the performance guarantee within that warranty?
The sources mention a guarantee of, I think it's 92.5% of the original output, even after 30 years. And they highlight a really low annual degradation rate, potentially as low as 0.25% per year on some models. That's quite impressive. It basically means the power output drops off very, very slowly over those 3 decades, backing up that long warranty claim.
Yeah, the kind of guaranteed long-term performance, that definitely speaks to peace of mind. And the third benefit mentioned,
Durability, physical strength. The sources show they have certifications for handling high snow and wind loads. They throw out numbers like over 5,400 pascals for snow load capacity.
5,400 pascals. Okay, for listeners like me who don't think in pascals every day, what does that actually tell us about how tough these panels are?
It just means they're certified to withstand really heavy physical stress. Think like significant weight from piles of snow or the force from very strong winds. It shows they're engineered with robust construction for potentially tough weather.
Okay, so we've got strong tech, good heat performance, these long warranties with minimal power loss over time, and they're built tough. Based on our sources then, does this mean Q-Cells is like definitively the best panel you can buy in 2025?
Well, the sources position Q-Cells as a really strong contender, a very compelling option, definitely one that should be on your shortlist if you're looking in 2025. That mix of proven tech, solid performance numbers like the heat response and degradation, the durability, those evolving warranties, plus the U.S. presence, it makes a strong case.
But, and this is crucial, the sources also wisely remind us that the best panel, well, it's the one that fits your specific situation, right? Your needs, your budget.
Exactly. It brings it right back to you, the listener. Based on what we've just gone through from the sources, what matters most for your house? Is it squeezing every last watt out of limited roof space? Is that 30-year warranty and the super low degradation the top priority? Or maybe you're in a really hot area where that temperature coefficient is key. Or perhaps the budget is the main driver.
Yeah, it makes you think. When you're looking at putting something on your home for the next, quarter century or more, how much does understanding these details, like how well it handles heat or how much power it's guaranteed to make way down the road, how much does that factor into feeling truly comfortable with your choice and maximizing those long-term savings? It's definitely something to consider as you weigh your options.